So I think that's another thing that we see as important is when you have an event, engagement and inclusive engagement shouldn't feel like something that's tapped on. It should be fundamental, right? If you're going to take people's time to do a breakout and solve something, do something with the output, right? I mean, that's a unique opportunity to have those people together.
Organizational, you don't want everyone talking at once. You want to have a certain type of control there. But also, most platforms just don't support it. There are a lot of platforms out there that are really good. Zoom, for example, that just aren't very scalable. I mean, you can't do a Zoom call with 1,000 people. I mean, it's just untenable.
Company in a time where there's opportunity to grow and deliver things that are, impactful, it's great. It really turns a light bulb in people's heads, because, as you know, if you can't socialize or you're predominantly doing things over Zoom, what's going to be innovative, what's going to be different, what's going to be impactful, what's going to create reaction on social media, all these things. And it's great because you can really build it up. The last client we worked with was sending out small snippets, sending that out on
kind of throwing around the buzzword hybrid. It's nobody's really getting to the crux of what it is, and ultimately it means something different.
Down with the client and going, right, this monthly meeting, for example, purely virtual. This thing, a hybrid event, this thing, okay, we'll make it social face-to-face, that kind of planning. At the same time, also planning a contingency. So I think not taking that one format or medium as the absolute, that's it, as the absolute. It's making sure that there is a contingency plan.
I think the thing for me is they've always been trying to be an in real life. A lot of the ones that I've done so far, I have done some gaming ones. Which are a little bit different, but the ones where I'm watching a gig, there is always a part of me that feels like
it's a school day. There's so many lessons. So our studio is our office, which is based where I live in Shrewsbury in Shropshire, and we have a room that's now been transformed into a virtual events kind of studio to run the live stream and the back stage aspects of the virtual events. But early on, we had a couple of times where our internet just went. It just cut the live stream, it cut everything. So obviously that kind of got fixed with the provider and all of that. But then it just made us think, like, how can we be really, really clear with people, and how can we fill those gaps? Because stuff goes wrong.
Like, in the virtual world, obviously, is you can always leave if you don't want to hang around. It's easy to dip into something, and then if you think, actually, I don't want to watch this, or I'm not interested in this bit, you can just leave. You don't actually have to physically
I've been
leave.
on several since lockdown went into effect, and I think we're all hungry for content and material and help and community and a guiding hand, and just maybe to commiserate sometimes, right? To be like, oh, good, I'm not the only one that feels completely lost or confused or can't figure out resiliency
really
or et cetera, et cetera.
And really proactive efforts that companies have taken to upskill their teams, be that sending people out on sort of external courses, of which several have popped up this year, which is brilliant. And I think there are some excellent now facilities out there, companies out there providing great upskilling opportunities. But also I've seen
there's two challenges. One is in the credibility factor, because I'm a stand builder, and people that know me well know that I'm a stand builder. So the first challenge to overcome is like, well, okay, you were building stands 9 months ago. How come you're now an expert in this field? So that's been one of the challenges that we faced. And I think overcoming that hurdle is a simple case of saying, no, my field of expertise is events.
You can run
like
roundtable events online if you're clever, and there are ways to get people to turn up to those, and there's ways to get engagement on those, and that people may struggle with it, but it's totally possible. Focus groups, you can do them online.
When you open a business or you're running a business, there are objectives that you want to hit, there are goals that you want to achieve. There's an ROI that you want from whatever platform that you are investing your time and your effort and your money sometimes in. If you want to create amazing content, there's amazing free resources and tools like Canva. But if you want to take it another level, you probably have to pay for Canva Premium, or you probably have to invest in Adobe.
Very difficult because anyone out there can do what you and I are doing. And if any other else, someone else, your competition or someone from the room and everything, is having better conversations with people in your audience, or is having more intelligent conversation, or is adding more value than you are?
Do they need showrunners? Do they need do they want an all-in-one solution? Do they want, kind of like we were talking about, like virtual platforms right now, they can be a continental breakfast that is just like some danishes and coffee out on a buffet, or they can be a whole like interactive like sushi buffet experience. Or as we were talking, they can be the lady. Yeah, they can be the lady with the champagne skirt, with the champagne flutes. That is very pretty to look at.
Who do I need to get that advert in front of us? And a cool thing that we've got at Unruly is we've got our own proprietary technology called EQ, which stands for emotional quotient.
Oh, I love
what that does is it looks at what types of websites and what type of content will really resonate with consumers. So it's kind of like, you know, it's the holy grail really, because we're working with the publishers and we can help them with their content so that they can make that more emotional. And then we're also working with the brands to make sure that they can test their ads and target them to exactly the audience that it's going to really be.
There's kind of this wall that's come down, and I think in the events industry as a whole, there's a lot of ego and a lot of that feeling that's gone out of it, because everyone is so vulnerable, automatically so vulnerable. And we're collaborating a lot more, and a lot of the clients coming to us and just saying, help, tell us what to do. And we're telling them that, and they're putting a hell of a lot of trust in us and a lot of showing us a lot of vulnerability and us to not take advantage of that and to really help them. So it feels like a much more collaborative process from the beginning, because we say, okay, well, this is what we'd suggest doing. If you have your own ideas, that's great. Whereas, you know, pre-pandemic, it was very much
studio in your little office, and it won't be as crazy on screen as it would be in person. And if that makes sense. So it's just a slight amplification of who you are. You need to do virtually. You just need to up it a bit. Find your inner, I don't know, Lady Gaga or whatever it is. She's still there. Like the person that you would be, I always say, like the Claire I would be on a dry martini. That's what I have to bring to a meeting. Yeah. Because not 2 dry martinis, just 1. 2 would be another